Welcome to 14 Key Resources I Wish I Had Before Starting a New Company that could have saved me millions of dollars. Do you have a concept with a lot of potential and are waiting for that big breakthrough? Do you dream of that hockey stick, scaling of sales going through the roof? But you find out in reality, your company's kind of running flat. Maybe even not growing or shrinking. It's very typical after having a successful start of a company to go into a flat period for 3 to 5 years. If you're not careful during that flat period, you can manage your company in a way that you're chasing your dream that will force you into bankruptcy and totally be discouraged and give up and just say the market wasn't there or I didn't have enough investment, there wasn't enough cash. Or there are steps you can take knowing how to manage your company during that flat period so that you can make it healthy and can grow it in the future. And the resources that I'm going to provide for you today will help you to take that flat period and develop a healthy company while it's flat so that you can grow it in the future. The resources I'm presenting, you can download those by going to bit.ly/14lifesprings. Make sure you use all small letters. Again, that's bit.ly/14lifesprings. Resource number 1, Harvard iLab Startup Secrets Value Proposition. This comes down to 4 U's. Is your company addressing something that's unworkable, unavoidable, urgent, and underserved? If you're in those 4 categories and you're strong in those 4 categories, your company has a great future to grow. Okay? And if not, you need to address those that you're weak in. And you adapt and you learn how to leverage those 4 U's. You can also use these 4 U's when evaluating an investment, if it's a company that you want to invest in. Excuse me. Anything Becc Holland. She runs a company called Flip the Script. Now, she will give you step-by-step, real-life details. How to make cold calls, how to write cold emails, how to leave voicemails, when to call, when to email, when to leave a voicemail, and all those details. Very, very thorough. No gimmicks here. Real life examples. She has been very successful and she's in high demand. Forget the funnel. This organization takes companies and helps them to fine-tune their websites. Just by tuning up their websites, helps them to double their sales. A lot of their customers see a 70 to 100% increase in sales without spending money or more money on marketing, okay? Just by improving their website. They use a jobs to be done methodology, and by using that and researching with your customers, you're going to learn a lot more about how to successfully market and sell your product from your customers than you would from hiring a marketing professional. Everything MicroConf. So, MicroConf is an organization that holds an annual conference. They record the presentations from this conference and make them available on YouTube. This is a group of current entrepreneurs who are startups themselves who share true life stories where the rubber meets the road. A lot of times they will go contrary to popular trends and books and YouTube videos and tell you really how it really works. One organization just cut out their marketing budget and their sales increased and they were profitable. Another organization that was running about 50 employees cut their employees down to 4 and maintained the same profit with 4 employees that they were making with 50. Actually, increased their profit, by going down to 4 instead of 50 employees because they weren't making all that payroll. But it did not slow down the company. The company continued to grow with 4 employees at the same rate that it did with 50. So, real life stories of what worked, what didn't work, how they worked through situations, and how they learned. A lot of the resources that I am listing out today for you actually have come from this group. The quality of this material is extremely high because MicroConf has two goals. One is they're looking for well-run companies to invest in. Their investment group is called Tiny Seed. And number two, they want to know themselves that the companies that they're investing in Tiny Seeds, that they're being managed properly. And so they don't hide things. A lot of things on YouTube, they kind of give you, 5% of insight to a plan. They don't tell you the whole 100%. When you're a MicroConf, you get the whole story, okay? And that's because they're trying to get you to grow your company to be valuable enough for them to invest in. So great, great resource. Everything MicroConf, and there's a ton of videos out there. Burn the business plan. Colleges that had entrepreneur programs, startup incubators and stuff, have such a high failure rate when it comes to 10 years for a company existing 10 years. But if you work in an industry, and in the industry there's a common problem, and you come up with a solution to that common problem and start that as a business, your success rate is very, 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 very high. And so they're saying burn the business plan and just address the area that you're working. And this is a high clue. When you invest in a company or build a company, who is the person that you're investing in? What's their industry? What's their expertise? Because that's the area where they're going to be most successful. So if somebody comes up with a great idea and has nothing to do with their career, job, or background, take that cautiously because the success that weighs against their success rate. Profit first. So a lot of times we look at our companies and we say, okay, here's my to-do list. I need to go do this, and we spend money doing what we need to do to run our companies. Profit first reverses that and says, no, set aside profit first, set aside your paycheck next, and then with the remaining money, figure out what your business needs to have done and stay within that budget, okay? This flat period that you're in the first 3 to 5 years, if you're chasing dreams and you're throwing money at dreams, you're burning money at a very high rate and most likely are going to bankrupt. But if you can make your company healthy just with 1% profit during those 3 to 5 years, your company's not going to go bankrupt, right? You're improving your skills, you're improving your marketing, and you can slowly grow your company until it gets healthier and healthier and healthier. And then when you have a larger profit, you can scale your company up and have a long-term healthy company. And so profit first is kind of the David Ramsey of entrepreneurship. Very insightful, very good, and it was a lifesaver for full-line streaming. And believe me, once you can feel good about, hey, we got a profit this month, we know we're going to have a profit the next month, we know we're going to have a profit the next month, you've got time to build your company. You've got time to improve the marketing. You've got time to scale in the future. And then once you do scale, because you got good financial habits, those good financial habits will scale with your company too. So profit first. Buyer personas. I hate ideal customer profiles, ICPs, okay? They sound like a great exercise in trying to figure out the demographics of your customers so you know how and when and where to market and what to say to them. And so I wasn't real turned on by this title. But once we got into the book, it was very insightful. 2 things. One is you actually probably have multiple profiles that you'll need, a user, an influencer, and a purchaser. In a full-line streaming, we do. We have a pastor, we have an AV person, and we have a senior adult minister. And so we got to work through those 3 profiles. More important than the demographics of those profiles is knowing what they do and how they do it and what's the motivation behind why they do what they do. It's the doing. Because once you understand their doing, their method of doing things, then you can harmonize and complement what they're doing. And when you build your persona around that, then it makes it so much easier to market and to follow through and to close the sale because you're just helping them do their job. Next, never split the difference. This is how to communicate with somebody, when you start out, you may not have a common goal, right? When you're cold calling a customer, they don't know about you. You're not on their agenda for something that they want to get done. So how do you go when you don't have a common goal and objective to get that common goal and objective? Okay? And one of the key takeaways that I took from this was understanding how to ask how and what questions versus asking why, who, where, and when. Why, who, where, and when questions are challenging, and they push the person you're communicating with away. Okay, they can be uncomfortable. But when you ask a how or what question, you're actually drawing them into the conversation. You're getting them to talk about themselves, and you're getting them to talk about themselves and their needs to buy your solution. Okay, by using the how and what questions. So, very good book to learn how to communicate. Obviously, awesome. This is about the competitors that you need to face in your marketplace. Okay, and so if you, off the top of your head, were to tell me today who your competitors are, you probably only cover 1/3 of them. So how to find and define these competitors, and how to define yourself to stand out among these competitors. And in most SaaS products, your number one competitor is actually an Excel spreadsheet. So if I'm accomplishing the goals that you're accomplishing, but I'm accomplishing them in an Excel spreadsheet, how do you stand out against that competition? Okay? So an Excel spreadsheet is that hidden competitor that most people don't think about. It may even be a Word document, right? Maybe pen and paper is your hidden competitor. So this book is very good in clarifying where you fit in the picture among the competition and how to stand out. Cold email manifestos. There's a ton of information about cold emails available on the internet, but it's very piecemeal. And they cover one point here and one point there, and they cover about how it worked in their unique situation. Alex here takes cold email and breaks it down step by step from end-to-end system. He covers everything there is to understand about cold email, okay? And on your way out with your first cold email, right, if you had to come up with a subject line and you're trying to get people to open your email, the number one subject line for opening emails across the industry, all industries across the whole board, is quick question. Just make that your subject line, and if you're uncertain about what to do for a subject line, and you will get a high open rate and get a lot of responses, it is the number one subject line. Blue ocean strategies. Okay, so red ocean is where you have competition that's doing the same thing. So there's a lot of CRMs in the marketplace. If you understand customer relationship marketing databases, there's a lot of them. And so if you come up with an idea for a CRM, you're going to dive into a red ocean. You're just another one. And there's a place for those type of businesses, and they can make money, and they do things a unique way. Where blue ocean is you're doing something totally new that nobody else is exactly doing. For instance, phone line streaming, audio streams your internet broadcast across a telephone line. We have no competition. Okay? There's video streamers that do the video streaming, right? But on the audio stream thing, we're in a blue ocean. So if you are in a blue ocean, how do you do your strategy and your communicating and marketing? If you're in a red ocean, but you like to become a blue ocean type product, what you need to change about your product in order to be blue ocean. For instance, Salesforce is a CRM. And when Salesforce first started out, they were just in this bloody red ocean. But Salesforce came up with the first CRM that was successful in the cloud, which required no software. And so their no software concept made them a blue ocean. And because there was no software required, Salesforce was able to sell themselves to marketing teams rather than to the IT teams. And so they became what they call blue ocean now. Some people call that purple ocean when you're in a red ocean, but you change your identity to be in the blue ocean. And then some people say blue ocean is like phone line streaming, something totally new that nobody else is doing. But this book will break down those different variables that you need to consider to be in the blue ocean. Product-led growth. So this is about using your product as a free trial or a version of a free trial. all the steps in how to take a free trial to make it a successful experience that leads to a sell, what to do and not to do, and when to have a free trial and when to not have a free trial. This was actually the first book that introduced me to the red ocean, blue ocean. So when you're in the red ocean, people understand what your product is supposed to do. It's a CRM. Oh, I know what a CRM is supposed to do. So they can go into a free trial because they have an expectation of what the screen will look like, what I need to click on, what I want to get from this experience. When you have a blue ocean product, free trials don't work because they don't know what to expect. They don't know how to navigate the menu. They don't know what the output's going to look like because it's something totally new. And so you wouldn't use a free trial when you're in the blue ocean, but you do use a free trial when you're in the red ocean. And so all those details for doing the free trial if you're going to do one. Buy back your time. If you try to do everything yourself, you're going to hinder yourself from growing. So how do you buy back your time and job out the different things that need to be done and be secure about it so that you can have your time to grow the company? And number 14, this is a really good book, but it's very salty language. A lot of illustrations come from rap music. But this gentleman, Ben Horowitz, is right in the middle of everything internet growing in the future of technology and all that. And anybody can come up with a product or an idea, okay? But to market that product and scale it successfully, it's another game. And a lot of people don't talk about all those hard things you have to do to market and to scale your product successfully. And the biggest component of marketing and scaling your product successfully is personnel. Getting the right people, getting to do the right job, communicating with them right, and such. And Ben has grown companies to $1.6 billion and sold them. He's done this multiple times. He's an investor and knows what he's talking about. So Hard Things is a very good book, but watch out for the language. And again, all these resources are available to you at bit.ly/14LifeSprings, and we'll download the sheet for you with all the links to those resources. If you're thinking about starting a business, check out all these resources. If you started a business and you're like stuck in the mud, check out all these resources. If you got a good business and it's going, but you want to try to figure out how to get it growing, check out these resources.